The Glock 20C, 10 millimeter. I have a nickname for it. It's called the Pulverizer. And this is why I like to carry a 10 millimeter for my primary carry. I'm going to get into a tabletop review here. Welcome to Weapons Education. Right now, as I normally do, I'm going to zoom in. Let's take a good close look at it. Then I'll sit down and we'll discuss all the details of the firearm. This is one nice pistol. This is the full size. Glock makes two, the 20 and the 29. I have a 29 here I'll show you momentarily. What's nice is the 29 will hold the 20 magazine. I do have a Glock light and laser on there from Glock. We'll talk about that. Okay, decal grips are stuck on there. We'll talk about that. And we're pretty familiar with the Glocks and the serrations and the quality and the fact that it's not going to jam. It's going to be there. If you have to save your life or somebody else's life, you can rely on a Glock. The dependability, the reliability is there with the Glock. Let's take a look at the other side. You notice the sign behind this Glock 20C, it says Glock Perfection. I really do like that slogan because what's so perfect about a Glock is that it's simple. And I like simple. Easy to break down, easy to clean, and it's extremely reliable. And it's very, as far as expense, it's very affordable. I love the fact that you can buy a Glock for $500 or so. That's a good thing. Here's a close look at this side. Some states, prices vary, so. Alright, there you go. We'll talk about it now. Let's take a close look at the ammo. On the right, we have a 10 millimeter from Double Tap. As you can see how much taller it is than the 40 caliber on the left. The 10 millimeter is basically a 40 caliber on steroids. The 40 is the same casing, just shorter. What happened is back in the mid-80s, if you watch my video, The Birth of the 40 caliber, it's a very interesting story. The worst FBI shootout of all time took place, and the FBI had to adopt a stronger, more powerful round than what they were using at the time was .357s. They chose the 10 millimeter, and the story goes on and on. It's a great story, and they ended up ultimately downsizing the 10 millimeter and just making it a little bit shorter to the 40 caliber. But the 10 millimeter is still available today, and the Glock still makes the two versions, as I mentioned. You get the 29 and the 20. I like them both. I've got a number of both of them. I prefer to carry a 10 millimeter as my primary carry. It's just me. I like the knockdown power, and I do not want to have to worry that if I miss the CNS, the central nervous system, on somebody who's trying to kill me and my family or other people, my aim might be off, my stress level might be up, and yes, I do realize that you have to be cognitive of where that bullet's going to travel because the 10 millimeter is so powerful. That is why I carry backup pistols, smaller pistols, maybe a 40 in my pocket or something, a 380 or something smaller for a backup. You never know the situation, and there never is a perfect answer. But my specific opinion for me as my carry is the 10 millimeter. I just like it. I shoot it the best at the range, and that's that. Let's look at some of the Double Tap ammo. Very pricey. It's available easily to get from Double Tap. I choose to use the range ammo made by Georgia Arms. I went last night online to buy 1,000 more rounds. It's back ordered. I'm on a waiting list, and you just wait. You get 1,000 rounds and you're good to go. Georgia Arms works just fine. I have no jams, no problems. On the bottom here is Double Tap, 230 grain. It's called the Equalizer, traveling at 1,045 feet per second. And then we have the 180 grain traveling at 1,350 feet per second. That's moving along there. That's humming. Look at this. 125 grain, it's 1,600 feet per second. A 10 millimeter round, hollow point. Oh boy. Talk about knockdown power. This ammo is good for hunting. They say medium game. I think big game. I mean, they say up to elk size. I don't know. It's Ted Nugent's favorite round, and I see why. I mean, a huge 300-pound wild boar coming at you, and those things are aggressive. We have them here in South Florida, and all the hunters I know in South Florida, they either have a .44 Magnum or a 10 millimeter, or both, one on each side, to protect themselves against those wild boars. All right, the ammo, as we know, is extremely potent. It is the most powerful Glock made, as I said. You do want to own a Glock 29 or 20. I like the 20 because it has the compensator on it. Let's talk about that. All right, let's talk about the nitty-gritty on the Glock 20C. As you can tell, I do have a laser and light on this pistol. This comes directly from Glock. Thank you, my wife is here. Could you please zoom in on this here? Let's talk about the laser and light first. They have a couple models, model 10 and 11, which is the light only. This is model 21, which I prefer. 21 or 22 are pretty much the same. It is a light and laser. I'll show you here. Just point it down. I don't know if you can see the red dot, but it's a light and laser, and it's extremely bright. I really do like the way the fit and finish is. It fits all Glocks with rails. I do recommend either model 21 or 22 light and laser for a Glock. They make model 51 and 52 also for a light and laser, but that's only available for law enforcement officers or military. So if you're going to get a light and a laser for your Glock, go ahead and buy it from Glock. We'll have all the accessories I'm speaking about, by the way, on our website, our merchant website, armoryexpressoutlet.com. Everything you would want, from barrels to magazine releases and guide spring systems. So keep that in mind. Let's move along here and talk about some other things. I think the most special thing about this Glock 20 is the letter C for compensator. Take a look here at the top of the slide, up here by the muzzle, the top of the muzzle. It's ported. What the compensator does is it helps recoil. It helps muzzle flip. It's not going to jump around in your hands. And people might think, well, the 10 millimeter, it's such a large round, it's the most powerful Glock made. The recoil has got to be tremendous. The truth is, take a look at my video called Happiness is a Warm Gun. It's a range video under my playlist. My wife at 120 pounds who never shot a pistol in her life, started with a 22 that day, moved up to a 380, moved up to a 45, and then I said, try the 10 millimeter. It happened to be a Colt Delta Elite. It's the same thing. I was just wondering how she would handle the recoil, and she handled it like a champ. The point is, modern day firearms, especially Glock with the compensator, recoil is not an issue. This will stay on target. This will improve your hit pattern, and I'm also going to show you the barrel as we break it down. The barrel is also ported. So these two elongated openings on the slide plus the openings on the barrel will help you, especially for rapid fire. It minimizes the front sight blackening through gases. It's really, if you're going to buy a Glock, make sure you can try one that that's available with the C. I'll tell you the models right now that come with the compensator. You got model 17, the good old Glock 19, you got this Glock 20, you got the 21, the 45, which I'll show you here in a moment, the 22, the 23, the 31, and the 32. I'll say it again. The 17, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 31, 32 all come with the compensator. Now, some simple stuff, some statistical stuff on the firearm are as follows. The length is identical to a 21, the 45. See, here's a 45, 21. It's identical. Actually, it's the same holster. We'll talk more about that. But the length is 7.59 inches. We'll call it 7.6. The width, here, from here to here, you can zoom in. The width is 1.27 inches, and everyone says, Glocks are so blocky, blocky, blocky. Do some comparisons. Look at your 1911s, go on whatever 1911 you own and go on that company's website and look at the width. It's probably about 1.2 something inches. So this is, it's a big gun. I'm not going to say it's not big, but it's not all that wide to me. And maybe because I'm 6'4" and I'm a big guy, but I like to feel my gun in my hand. And I also like it to help me withstand recoil. I don't want to shoot a little teeny little gun like this with a powerful round. So I do like the fact that it is 1.27 inches wide. If the gun feels too big in your hands to carry, well then don't carry it. Because the most important thing for concealment is that you carry your gun with you every moment that you're out and about. I like the Glock 10mm. I know it's a bigger gun, even the 29, which is right here with this 20 magazine in it. This is what I carry, as you can see right here. Here's my carry system. Okay, a Glock 29 with this Glock 20 magazine in it, 15 plus 1. 2 extra spare magazines. There's 30 more rounds here. So I got 30 and 16. I got 46 rounds of 10mm on me. But if the gun is too big for you, it's great for the range, it's great for hunting, it's great for going camping and the great wild outdoors, but if you're not going to carry it, then don't use it for your concealment. If you're not going to carry it 100% of the time, then go for the smaller gun. But I am good about carrying every single day, and I like to carry either a 10mm or a 45. I like the knockdown power for my primary carry. I'll have some other firearms on me also, maybe a 40, like the Car 40, or the 357 J-frame. I have videos on both of those. Now, let's break it down here for a moment. Let's just do that. Let's do that. You know how to break down a Glock. You just pull it back a little bit, hit these 2 levers down, pull the trigger, and take your slide off. I did not replace my spring here, the plastic guide rod. I will, but you know what? After 1,000 or 1,200 rounds through it, and it's just shot so perfect, I don't see why I have to replace it. Why spend any extra money on it? It's just perfect. That's why their slogan is perfection. They know what they're doing at Glock. And that's how easy it is to break down. I want to show you the barrel, and what I mean by the compensated barrel. If you can zoom in here, please. Look at your Glock barrel. If it's not a C model, it will not have these 2 portings here. Zoom very close in there at those 2 holes. I like that. I like the fact that the slide has elongated openings, and plus the barrel has elongated openings. Okay, let's put it back together. We know how to do that. We take our barrel, our beautiful ported barrel, just put it into your slide, and then your spring with the round side facing forward. Get it seated in there nicely, very easy. Okay, and then we'll put our gun back together. Just line up your rails. You got your gun back. What else can we talk about in the firearm? It's just absolutely perfect. This does not have night sights on it. You can upgrade to night sights. I trust this out of the box. They say, you know, shoot 100, 200 rounds out of it. That might be true for some other manufacturers. To me, Glock is good out of the box. Of course, I'll go shoot it at the range. I just have so much trust in Glock. The polymer is super high tech. As we know, Glock is known for their polymer. H&K invented it, and then Glock really ran with it. The polymer is super strong to the point where the recoil of a 10mm is absolutely nonsensical. It's not an issue. And the slide is so heavy and strong that helps with recoil also. I'll probably get some questions as to what holster you should use for your Glock 20 or your 21 for that matter, the 10mm or the 45. Same holster. I like the paddle holsters from Galco. I've always liked the paddle holsters, but there's a number of holsters available from Galco that fit the 20 and 21. I just prefer the paddle. That's the holster that I do use if I take the light off of it, and have used. And the way I keep it moistened and free from cracking and drying out is Ballistol. Ballistol people think is only for metal. Ballistol is excellent, as you can see, for leather. Okay, it's an all-around product that's just perfect. It's like the perfect product for everything. It's available on our merchant website, the Army Channel's merchant website, Weapons Education merchant website, which is armyexpressoutlet.com. But that is the holster I do recommend. The Galco. I love Galco. They're a little pricey. But they're worth it. You're going to put a $500, $800, $1,200 gun in it, and your holster, that's a cheesy little Velcro holster. Not me. I won't. I like leather. That's the holster I recommend. Okay, here's a good close look at the 20C. Here's the 21-45 caliber. Identical size. What you may want to realize is the 10 millimeter holds 15 plus 1 rounds, and the Glock 21-45 holds 13 plus 1 rounds. You're too shorter on the 45 caliber, and I do love the 45. This one here has the Crimson Laser and the TLR1 Streamlight, which does not have the laser on it. There's Streamlight makes the TLR1, which is just the light only, and the TLR2, which is laser and light. Now let's talk about magazines for a moment. Here I got a couple of magazines here. The 20C comes, this is loaded up with double taps, with an incredible magazine, and I have a Springfield magazine, which is one of my favorites. You see the stainless steel here? Beautiful polished stainless steel. You see this here on my right, your left? Same thing, except what Glock does is they cover their magazines with polymer. Very high quality magazines in your Glocks. Let's talk about the connectors. You don't have to replace your magazines. The connector, the trigger, if you can focus in right here. Most of you know Glocks come with a 5.5 pound or so pull on the trigger. I'm happy with it. A lot of my good friends are saying to me, hey Tom, why don't you go to a 3.5 pound trigger? And I'm going to do that, and I'm sure I'll like it even more. As you know, with Glocks, the accessories can be swapped out. Pretty much everything on this firearm can be swapped out, which is a good thing. This is not the SF version. I have big hands, so I opted not to get the short frame. It's good for me. You may want to look into getting the SF version if you have smaller hands. If you take a close zoom in here on the grips, I have what's called, you see this is a sticker. This is not stippling into the polymer. This is stuck on by a company called Decal Grips. They're all custom made for each style Glock, and I like them, except for one little thing that you maybe need to be aware of. When it gets hot, when you shoot this gun in a hot range and you're firing away hundreds of rounds, or the sweat of your palms on this sticker, they're gonna, like this one's, see? Focus in on that. See what I'm saying? It's not terrible, but it's a sticker. It's gonna melt, it's gonna come off. A lot of ballistol on this gun. I do keep my guns covered with ballistol, and that's a good thing. Alright, we covered the magazine. The magazine release I didn't cover. Focus in right here. I like this magazine release that it comes with stock. I know a lot of you do get aftermarket mag releases that's protrude a little bit out. But if you drop it like this sideways, your magazine can come out. Or pulling it in and out of a holster, it could protrude out a little bit too much. I mean, I'm cognitive enough to know that's where the magazine release is. It doesn't have to stick out 1/8 of an inch for me to hit it. But if you're into it, you can of course switch it out and get a larger magazine release. To finish up, I mean, what can you say? It's a 10 millimeter, the most powerful Glock made. It's excellent for you hunters. It's excellent for personal protection. I use, as you can see here, focus in here please, as I showed you earlier, Miami Classic holster with a Glock 29 with the 20 magazine in it, 15 plus 1. Here's another 29, and I want to show you, without a light and laser on it, I want to show you the size difference in these two 10mm. These are the two most powerful Glocks made. If you can get a look at them like that, please. You can see the size difference, 29 and 20. Look at it again. There's a massive difference in size. And when I shoot these at the range, I really do not notice the recoil difference from the 29 or the 20. So it's up to you to make your decision as to which one to purchase, because they can both shoot 15+1 rounds. You know, to finish up, you want to use this massive 10mm, this beautiful Glock 20C for personal home defense, for hunting. You can take out anything up to size elk, they say. I think you can take out much larger game than an elk. And the 10mm round is just, I mean, come on. It's potent. It's some potent stuff. Here's what I get here. Can you zoom in on this, please? Georgia Arms. Make sure you get the ones that say new ammo on it. These are hollow points in here. What I just dropped on the table are full metal jackets, and that's what I use for the range, if you can zoom in on that. Highly recommended by myself here on Weapons Education. As always, I hope you learned something, maybe just one little thing. I know there's a lot of Glock videos out there. Just have fun, be safe. If you're a subscriber, I really truly thank you. Please tell a friend. Please tell a friend. If every subscriber told one friend, we can double up the audience, right? And if you're not a subscriber, I respectfully ask that you do subscribe. Thank you so much. Check it out. Bye-bye.